Namaste, Soul Circle! I'm Steven.
I'm Candice.
And we are from Arcana, Mind, Body, Spirit, located in Toronto, Canada. And today we're going to be talking about the upper veil, which is one of the most esoteric, one of the most frequently misunderstood energy streams that you can call in whenever you're setting space or when you're raising energy.
This one has been a big learning curve for me in my life. So I'm still processing, I'm still moving through it and still learning. So I'm really excited for today.
Yeah, so stay tuned. Here we go.
Let's do it.
So the upper veil. The upper veil is all about the more esoteric energy streams, the ones that make us consider where our own belief systems lie within ourselves. Because of this, it's very common for people to adapt the upper veil with the energy streams that resonates the most deeply with them, which I think is important when considering any elements of ceremony.
Yeah. So for some people, this video might prompt a rabbit hole of Googling that you can get lost in. It's happened to me.
Yes, but this is also how we learn, right? There's a lot of great resources out there.
Yeah.
So if you think back and consider that most antediluvian belief systems had a really strong resonance with beings from above, things coming down from above. And then you compare it to today's modern day religions from all across the world, there is a common thread that whenever we talk about spirit, we pray and we look up and we revere up.
Yeah.
And there's always that connection with source that is above us.
In terms of the upper veil, there are endless consciousness that we can call upon. But we chose for today to focus on the most common six. One being the planetary gateways, which include all astrological energies, which also include
starseed energies, which I'm sure at some point we're going to end up doing a whole series on different starseed energies and basically about human origins coming from planetary areas in our solar system.
Yeah, absolutely. Number 3 would be all of the angelic gateways, which can include the guardian angel ideology.
Which is in so many Hollywood movies.
Yeah.
And even when you're walking down the street, you feel the tickle over your shoulder. And then we have the Akashic gateways, which is the record of all of our lives that we have ever lived. So if you believe in reincarnation or come from a civilization, an ancient civilization which did, then this was something that was written on cave walls and has a lot of doctrine all across the world.
Yeah. And the 5th one is our light bodies for holographic healing. So this stems from Mesoamerican traditions, but the most influential and common thread is number 6.
Father, Son, and the divine masculine.
Yeah.
So that's where we're going to start.
I'm already sweating.
Here we go. All right.
Okay, so number 1. Steven, do you believe that you are connected to a higher source energy? And what is that to you?
Starting out with those real easy questions.
Yeah, right? I know. I'm like, wait a minute, I gotta answer this one too.
Right?
Okay.
I'm in the hot seat here. Okay. Yes, absolutely. I believe that there has to be a higher power. There's a source energy that connects all of us. I'm sure that it might not look like Hollywood films make higher source, or I think there's a possibility that it's way more complex than what we understand. But if I am thinking of, I believe we had to have come from somewhere, and something powerful enough had to have created everything that we see. And I do believe in energy systems and root systems, and I believe we're all connected. And if energy exists there, then energy has to exist elsewhere.
Yeah.
And I believe energy is all connected. So yes, we are connected from something higher. But I'm a mere mortal. I don't know what that is.
You mean you don't have all the answers?
I don't know all of the answers.
Don't change the channel. We don't know everything.
But yes, I do believe. I believe it's important to live in existence where you do feel connected to something, because the opposite of believing in nothing, also doesn't seem like an option to me.
Yeah. No, I feel like I'm on the same page with that. I feel like growing up, I had no belief system. I was more like an atheist even. And then I started like, diving into spirituality and different things and like the occult kind of stuff. And then I met someone who would change my life in many, many ways. And I dove in really, really, really deeply with these topics. And it was also used as a form of abuse in my situation. So leaving that situation, I had to also leave those things behind in order to heal. And so a lot of my healing didn't include this. Didn't include this idea of like, a higher purpose, a higher energy, a higher energy source. So coming back to it now, many years later, I've kind of almost had to restart. And while restarting, I have already so much understanding and knowledge that it was really traumatic actually looking back at it, and bringing it forth again triggered a lot of things for me. So it like when I said before that it's been a learning curve for me, that's exactly what it is.
Yeah.
So yes, I do believe in a higher source than myself. Then I believe I look at nature and I see it moving constantly throughout nature. How do animals know to migrate here and there? And it's the perfect time for their eggs to plant so this bird can eat it and this thing. It's like this huge cycle that's moving, and that's just not by chance.
Right.
So and I believe that humans are connected in that also. Question number 2, Stephen.
Number 2, Candice.
Okay, so the upper world focuses on divine masculine energies of father-son. What parts of masculine energy do you appreciate? What parts need healing?
Divine masculine. Over the course of the last 2 years or so, I've been doing a lot of work on divine masculine. And I, as a gay male, it's very easy to associate more with a lot of feminine energies. But I would say in general, I'm still very, like, the things that are divine masculine, being active and leadership and these kind of things, I'd say I live very comfortably in that realm. But over the course of my life, I've been very let down by the masculine figures of my life. So if we're talking about powers that we would look up to or revere to or look for respect with or ask for guidance in, I have terrible examples of guidance from masculine. So for the last 2 years, I've been doing a lot of shadow work and integration healing and a lot of uncovering behind a lot of that stuff. And you've been there for so much of it. And it's so interesting that as I have made peace with some of these divine masculine pockets in my life, I guess, they've started reappearing in my life in more prominent ways because I'm somehow stronger to meet these challenges, and then they appear in my life again. It's been a very interesting road for me. So I love so much of the divine masculine in me. I am an active person. I have all of that. But I think I'm constantly, for my entire life, probably going to be healing some of the divine masculine letdowns that I've had. So sometimes when it comes to like a god figure and assigning masculinity to it, that's challenging for me.
No, I get that.
What about you?
For me, the parts of masculine energy that I appreciate. Well, last year, if you tuned in for any other videos, you would know that I was working on self-love. And I am a fire sign. Although a lot of other things are water in the chart, we'll ignore that for now.
Sorry, you're a fire?
It's all fire, baby. And there's a lot of masculine energy here in me.
And as one of your best friends, I have to say some of those qualities are the things that I love so much about you. I feel like you really embody some of that divine masculine energy.
And I identify more so with those things. I see it when I parent. I see it in my romantic relationships and just the way that I handle a lot of things. And even when in 2020, one of my goals was self-love was the major focus. And even seeing in there with like turning to myself, I see a lot of the masculine energies. They're strong. And
they're strong
they're very assertive. They're very So I think the parts that need a lot of healing would be, is it healing? Well, I mean, that's growth. But it's embracing the feminine energies and reminding myself of those. And I feel like the last little while, the last 4 years, especially being a single parent and going to school full time, I needed to turn up the masculine energies. And I'm very grateful for that, because I probably wouldn't be able to handle and flow through life the way that I had. But I know that I need to soften and flow and be moving and like molding and gentle. I need to work on those things. So I think it's just a matter of like taming that. And I think also too, when I think about the masculine energies and why I had to like really harness in on those parts of myself, when you're in a situation of like coming out of trauma and working on mental health issues, it couldn't be soft and flowing and in the emotion and like sleeping and gentle and eating and like all of these things. I needed to like get up and go, and I needed to push that aside. So I think now it's more about a balance and finding the balance of the masculine energies that literally have saved my existence and made me capable, and then bringing in the feminine energy to balance it out. So I just don't set everything on fire.
I mean, you can still light a few fires.
It's on fire, but
Okay, so then for our last question, we're going to deal with what's known as the Akashic records, or the Akash. And this is a very ancient ideology that, if you believe in reincarnation, that there is a library, a cosmic library that holds all of the energies of all of the different people that you have been over the course of your entire existence on this plane, which can be a very esoteric thought process for a lot of people. But when you look at the science behind energy, energy can't be destroyed. So there has to be some kind of timeline somewhere. And it's very popular in a lot of plant medicine retreats to access past lives through the Akashic, to look for guidance on where to go and where you're going, and hints on who you've been to heal past trauma. So there's so much with the Akash. We could spend a lot of time with that.
All right, so if you could read one thing from the Akashic records, what would it be?
I often think about this. I've had some experiences with the Akash over the years, and I'm sure one of these times, if you guys are interested, comment below. I'd love to make a video on it. On this trip in Greece, I had a really awesome experience with the Akash. But the one thing that I wish if I could look back and dive into, I would love to know why I chose the timelines that I did. Often the most popular thing is people want to know how they died in their past life, and that stuff. I don't really need to know why I died, but I want to know why I lived. I want to know what was it about that time? Why did I choose those parents? What was it about then that I was like, I'll go. I'm going to go now. I want to be a part of that. That always really interests me. Yeah. What about you?
I would say that I would want to know, looking at the people who are in my life now, whether they're not in anymore, or whoever comes into my life in and out, or is there forever, I want to know how I knew them. Where were our connections in our past lives? How are we connected? What were our relationships before? You can think of like a relationship with like your mom. Who was this person in a previous life? Maybe this person could be anything. You know what I mean? So I think that would be really interesting, and I think it would. If I knew those answers, it might impact the way that I love this person or hate this person. Just kidding, I don't hate anyone. But like how I interact with these people that are in my life now, I think that would be really cool to know.
Be really insightful, right?
Yeah.
And make you understand the deeper level of connection that you have with people. And I'm sure there's people. I'm sure we've all experienced this, where you're walking down the street and you see someone and you don't know that person, but you're like taken by that person. You just like see them, you can't stop staring at them.
Or connections that you have right away.
Instantly.
Like one of my closest friends, I had no interest really or desire to even know this person whatsoever. They were not on my radar. And she saw me in the yearbook, in her high school yearbook, and she was like, I'm gonna be best friends with that person. I had no idea who she was. And I remember like she just like was coming at me all the time. I was like, okay. And then we are best friends. This person is like one of my greatest soul sisters of all time. Yeah. So I would be really interested in just knowing how how they were connected before.
It's really awesome.
Yeah.
So we want you guys to comment below. Out of all of the energy streams that we talked about, which one do you connect to? Which one feels the most authentic to you? Because when you are calling in and set in space, you have to be calling in what is authentic and what speaks to you. And this Friday, please stay tuned to our channel because we will be releasing our reading for the upper veil that you can use in your practice or as a meditation every day, and to work with some of these energy streams to see which ones vibrate the best for you.
Yeah, and which ones need healing. Which ones do you need to like put some energy towards and continue to work on and build on. Yeah.
Thank you for joining us today. Make sure you hit like and subscribe below. We have all of our content from January on our channel, which we dealt with our horizontal plane, our medicine wheel. So please check all those out. Thank you for all of the support.
Love you.
Namaste.
Namaste. Much love.